going to make buko pie today. Let's get started. For the crust, 2 cups all-purpose flour, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup butter or shortening, 3/4 cup water. For the filling, 3 cups of buko. You scrape with a spoon or you can shred with a buko shredder. 1 cup buko water, 3/4 cup sugar, 2/3 cup cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup evaporated or full cream milk, 1 teaspoon vanilla. Let's make the crust for the buko pie. I have here flour, sugar. Sugar is optional. You don't need to add sugar, but I always like to add sugar because it makes the dough a little bit tender. Then I have salt. And then I'm using shortening because shortening is easier to handle. I like to use shortening because I don't need cold water because it will not melt. Okay? If you use butter, you need to use ice cold water. You can also use margarine. You can also use a combination of butter and shortening. Okay, let me explain first. If you use shortening, your crust is flakier, but it has less flavor. But if you use butter, it has full flavor. However, it's more difficult to handle because the butter melts at body temperature. Okay, so here, what I'm going to do is I will mix this by hand. As I said, you can use a mixer. If you're using butter, you cannot mix it by hand because the butter is going to melt in your hands. Okay, as I said, I prefer to use shortening because it's flakier, easier to handle. Though it's not as flavorful. But I will not worry about that because the buko pie filling in itself is already very good. So you mix it until you see how I was mixing it. I was just like doing it this way. Okay. So once you reach this stage, this is fine. We add water. In every pie recipe, crust, water is always variable. So you may need more, you may need less. Just take note, don't put everything in. Okay. Just add it gradually. It's always easy to add. But once you have too much, it's very difficult to take out. Okay? So you just press this together. Once you can put the dough together, then you know you have enough water. Like this one. I can put everything together now. So I don't need to add all of the water. Okay? We will let this rest for about 30 minutes. Longest is overnight inside the refrigerator. Fastest is about 30 minutes, okay? We wrap it in plastic. Okay? Then let's clean up and make the filling. Let's make the filling. So I have here, this is the buko water. Alright. Then we have evaporated milk. You can use full cream milk if you like. And then we have sugar. Sugar, you can add more, you can add less. And then we have cornstarch. We have no heat yet. Okay. Then you have a little salt. Salt is optional, but you know, salt gives it, it balances the sweetness. Alright. And then here, we have the this is starch. We have the buko. I had it scraped instead of using a buko shredder. Okay. And then we will cook this. Once the mixture thickens, then I'm going to add in vanilla. The coconut that I'm using today is a bit more mature. Choose one which is a little bit younger, so it's a little bit softer. You wait for the mixture to boil, and then once it boils, it will thicken because we have starch. If you want to serve this without milk, you can just remove the milk and replace it with buko water. Okay, some don't like them with milk, but milk makes it creamy. You will see it's starting to thicken now. Okay, and then we will add vanilla last. Vanilla is also optional, it's just a flavoring. Alright, so let's cool this down. If you'll notice, this has a lot of buko in proportion to the liquid. You can add more liquid if you like, just add more starch. Okay? Okay, this is done. Here, our dough has rested for 30 minutes. Okay? The reason why we need to rest the dough is to allow the dough to relax, because if you, after mixing, if you roll it out immediately, the dough will shrink. Okay? Let's divide this into two. Some people find it difficult to work with just 2 cups of flour. So if you're one of those who want a bigger or thicker crust, then you make 1.5 recipe. I don't like the dough to be very thick, so okay. This one is for the bottom, this one is for the cover. For the bottom, we probably need a little bit more. And then you dust it with flour. Dust your table with flour. Roll this out. Okay. Keep it moving. Okay. I'm trying to even this out. Alright. Now we're going to fit this. Sorry for the appearance of my pie plate, but I've had this for over 30 years. This is my oldest pie plate. And it still works even if it doesn't look nice. So this one, you'll notice it's just enough to fill the rim. You need 1 inch more, okay? Because of this side. So let's roll this out. As I said, if you find it difficult to work with only 2 cups of flour, you can make 3 cups. You just adjust the shortening so you make 1.5 recipe, okay? Okay, I think this one will work, see? So it's easy for you to lift it. What I do is I just do it this way. Okay? See? You'll see that it sits here. And then we can move this a bit. Okay? You know, the most common question I get is, how do you remove it from the pan? Okay? You can, once the pie is baked, you cool it very well. I usually cool the pie at least 4 hours, and then as long as the filling did not seep into the bottom of the pan, you can easily slip this off. Okay, slide this out. I will show you when I take this out. Okay, see, you can see a hole here, and we have extra here. You can use that to patch. Okay, and then let's put the filling. This buko pie is what I call buko because it has very little liquid. It has a lot of buko meat. Okay? Alright. By the way, if you want it more watery, then you can add about 1/2 cup more of buko water. Alright? But for me, this one is just fine. Okay, let's set this aside. Then we'll roll out the cover. Same. We dust this with flour. And then we roll this out, and then keep moving it. By the way, when you roll, you always start from the center going out. From the center going out. Okay, then what you do next is you put water on the rim here. You can use a brush. By the way, some also would put like butter or margarine, 1 or 2 tablespoons. You can do that too. To transfer this, we need to put flour here, and then we fold it. Okay, sorry. And then we put it here. Once you put it in, remember, you can no longer move it, okay? So it's covered now. So what we do is, here, to seal it, we tuck this in. After you tuck in, you even this out. Alright. For those of you who do not know how to flute, you can use a fork. Very easy. What you do is just do this. Okay? But if you want to make it something special, okay, this is what you do. So here, like this is what you do. See? So here, see? And then use the other finger to push it in, then move like this. But as I said, if you find this too difficult, you can just use a fork. Next, we need to put milk or egg on top. I don't have any more eggs, so I'll just use milk. You brush this. You know, on the sides, just, brush it very lightly because the edges are thinner. So there's a tendency that the edges will burn faster, okay? So don't put too much. And then, one thing you should do, and you should not forget, is you need to make holes on the top of the crust so that when it's heated up, you have, there are holes to vent the steam, okay? Otherwise, the top is going to, lift up, okay? Always brush first before you cut, because if you cut and then you brush, the cut portion will be sealed by the milk or by the egg. All right, so you allow steam to come out, and then we'll put this in the oven. This will take about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, 375 degrees. Okay, 375. 350 will do, but 375 is better. Okay, so we'll check after 45 minutes. I have many recipes to share with you. If you're interested, please like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you can be alerted when a new video is uploaded. Here, after 45 minutes, here's our buko pie. See? Very nice. As long as the filling will not leak, you can remove this once it cools down. Okay, anyway, I'll show you how to remove this. Here's our buko pie. I chilled it overnight. Once it's well chilled and then you're sure that none of the filling spilled into the pan, you can easily remove this. See? It comes out very clean. Okay? This is how the pie should be. The crust should be brown at the bottom. Okay? So, we'll see. We will slice this. See? Here's our buko pie.